Welcome to this week's warm-up, where we will continue to use the ramp method to raise, activate, mobilise and potentiate to prepare our bodies for the main activity. To begin phase 1, we use our diagonal arm swings in order to raise physiological parameters such as heart rate, body temperature and blood flow. Swing your arms in a diagonal fashion while walking the set out track, continuing to swap which arm goes above the shoulder, which arm goes below the shoulder, continuing for 30 seconds before moving on. Your next movement is simply a forward to backward jog, lightly jogging forward to the end of your track and then looking over your shoulder so that you know where you're going when you lightly jog backwards. Make sure you stay on the balls of your feet and continue the movement for 30 seconds before moving on. To introduce another planar movement, we used our side steps for the raise phase this week, also using the balls of our feet facing to the side with quick shuffles of the feet, never crossing over with our legs. Continue the movement back and forth for the 30-second period before moving on. To complete phase 1 and increasing the demands of the movement to prepare us for phase 2, we use our quad stretch RDL, bringing our heel up towards our bottom to create a quad stretch position, holding at the laces and then bending the knee and reaching forward to create a flat position throughout the back. Once we get to the end of the track, make sure you get your recovery jog back to the start and complete the movement for 30 seconds. To introduce phase 2, our activating and mobilizing stage, we use our squat hamstring stretch, where we use a squat position, bending at the knees and hips with the toes slightly turned out and our back nice and flat as we bend down. Once we get to the bottom of the squat, we hold our toes, but straighten our legs completely and then stand up into a nice straight position with tall posture. Continue the movement for 30 seconds before moving on. The next movement is our rotational squat arm swings, where we begin the movement in a squat position, swinging our arms below the knee, and then we swing up above one shoulder, rotating the opposite foot to allow us to take this position with our chest pointing out to the side. Continue the movement for 30 seconds before moving on and ensure you keep that posture throughout the entire movement. For the side lunge bounce, start by facing the side and take a big step into your side lunge. Bounce back to the original side and then pivot so that you end in your side lunge position facing the opposite side. Continue to do so till you get to the end of your track and then complete your recovery jog back to the start and repeat. Continue for 30 seconds before moving on. For the forward lunge twist, take a big step forward and then twist towards the forward knee. Ensure that toes from both feet are facing the same direction with both knees completely bent once you are in the lunge position. Ensure that one foot is completely flat forwards with the back leg having the ball of the foot on the floor. Ensure you have 50% weight on each foot and make sure you twist towards the forward knee each time, swapping the leg over. Continue to do so for 30 seconds before moving on. A very similar movement, but challenging the balance further, is our reverse lunge reach. This time we are stepping back into the lunge, but still bending at both knees and reaching towards the forward leg. However, this time as we reach, it is the closest hand to the forward leg, reaching down towards the floor, with the other hand bending over the head, reaching over to achieve a stretch throughout the entire body. Continue to alternate the legs for the 30-second period before moving on. As a great mobility drill, we use our ground shoulder slide to focus on the movement surrounding the shoulder blade. Lie flat on your back with your feet flat on the floor and your knees bent. Keep your arms completely straight and in contact with the floor for the entire time. Bend at the elbows and bring them as close to the sides as possible while still keeping your hands, arms, elbows in contact with the floor for the entire 30-second period. T-spine rotations are a great preparation exercise for any sporting movement. Have one hand flat on the floor with both knees flat at the same time. With the other hand, reach through the gap in the arm and then reach up to the sky, creating a nice straight position throughout the arms. Continue the movement for 30 seconds on one side and then repeat on the other side before moving on. The aim of our warm-up is to maximise the benefit we can with the allocated time. This is why we've added a strengthening drill for our legs with our 2-to-1 squats. Bend at the knees and hips with both feet flat on the floor until you are in a bent position, and then take one leg off the floor and straighten using one leg to really focus on our single leg strength. Ensure you alternate each time which leg you are using for the 30-second period before moving on. As another strengthening exercise, we've used our squat side step, taking up an athletic squat position, bending at the knees and hips, and then taking small steps while staying in this squat position. Continue the movement for 30 seconds, resting where needed. To complete phase 2 and bringing a higher demand on the upper body and core is our plank side step. Now is a good time to set out your t-shirt ladder, which will assist us in our phase 3 also. Do small steps with the hands and feet to the side, making sure you have 2 hands in each section of the t-shirt ladder for 30 seconds before moving on. Finally, we move into phase 3, our potentiation phase, with a high focus on power and speed. We use our ladder jump bounce, setting out our t-shirt ladder, staying on the balls of our feet, jumping in each section of the ladder, bouncing to the next, and using your recovery jog to complete again. Each time you do the shuttle, see if you can do the bounce faster and higher each time. Continue for 30 seconds before moving on. In this movement, we build off the previous movement and develop into a single leg drive or hop into each section of the ladder, using our recovery jog to take us back to the beginning and alternating the leg each time. Really focus on using the leg that is not on the floor and using the arms to drive yourself between each section of the ladder for the 30-second period before moving on. For our ladder side shuttle, we're really looking to build that speed and accuracy, hitting each section between the ladders with both feet each time, driving the arms and legs, and having a fast change of direction at the end of the ladder, with no recovery jog for this one, just trying to go through accurately, hitting with both feet between each section of the ladder, and then continually going for 30 seconds before moving on. To complete this week's warm-up and phase 3, we use our reactive side shuttle, using your speed, power and change of direction, and applying it to a scenario where you need to react as fast as possible. With help from your sibling or parent, with 2 commands, they can say change, which changes the direction which you are moving, and sprint, which is where you have to react and sprint as fast as you can to the end of the track. Continues as many times as you can in 30 seconds. Fantastic job at completing this week's warm-up through the 3 phases and the aim to raise, activate, mobilise and potentiate, and ensuring your long-term athletic development.